Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is part 2 of the lecture on software design, decomposing the system. So in this lecture we will discuss architecture. What are the different architecture styles, like the repository style, like model view controller, client server, peer-to-peer, 3-tier, and pipes and filters. So subsystem decomposition, as we have seen in the previous lecture, what are the subsystems and how to identify them. Subsystem decomposition is identification of subsystems, services, and their association to each other, such as peer-to-peer. So what is architecture style? Architecture style basically tells us how to organize our code. So it's the high level, it specifies the high level modules of the application and how those modules and layers interact with each other, and what are the relationship between the high level modules of the application. So architecture style is, you can say, is a pattern for subsystem decomposition. For example, the architecture style can be pipes and filter, can be 3-tier, can be MVC. And what is software architecture? It is basically an instance of architecture style. So example of architecture styles are given. So now we are going to discuss each architecture style one by one. First is the repository architecture style. So in repository architecture style, subsystems access and modify a single data structure called the central repository. So subsystems are usually independent and they interact only through the central repository. So repositories are typically used for database management systems such as payroll system or bank system, in which the data resides at a central location and which is accessed by other subsystems. So the figure shows the repository architecture style. Every subsystem depends only on the central data structure called the repository. But the repository has no knowledge of the subsystems, but the subsystems depends on it. Subsystems interact with it, but the repository has no knowledge of the attached subsystems. So this is another example of a repository architecture style. In this figure, the different subsystems of the compiler assess and update a central parse tree and a symbol table, and debuggers and syntax editors assess the symbol table as well. So a compiler incrementally generates the parse tree and symbol table of this central repository that can be used by source level debuggers and syntactic editors. So repositories are well suited for applications with constantly changing complex data processing tasks. So once a central repository is well defined, we can easily add new subsystems in the form of in addition. So second is model view controller, which is also called MVC architecture. So it is an architecture pattern that separates an application into three main logical components: the model, view, and controller. So each of these components are built to handle specific development aspects of an application, like model. A model component corresponds to all data related logic that the user works with. So it is responsible for application domain knowledge. It is responsible for all data related logic that the user works with. So next is view. So view component is used for all the user interface logic. For example, the customer view will include all the user interface components such as text boxes, drop downs, menus that the final user interacts with. So it is responsible for displaying application domain objects to the user. Third is the controller. So controller acts as an interface, as a mediator between model and view. So in this diagram shows the model view controller architecture style. So the controller gathers input from the user and send message to model. The model maintains the central data structure. The view displays the model and notified whenever the model is changed. Example of model view controller architecture style is the info view and folder view. Subscribe for changes to the file models. The user types the new name of the file. The controller, which is the object responsible for interacting with the user during file name changes, sends a request to change the name of the file to model. And as I already told, the data manipulation logic will be in model. So the model changes the file name and notifies all the subscribers about the change. So both information view and folder view are updated and notified. So the user sees the consistent change. So the purpose is to separate the model, views, and controller, and because view and controller changes very often as compared to model. So by we are making view and controller independent from the model, so that any change in the view for view means user interface do not have any effect on the model subsystems. So MVC is well suited for interactive systems, especially when multiple views of the same model are needed. So most frequently used industry standard web development framework to create scalable and extensible projects. So another architecture style is client server architecture style, in which one or more servers provide services to instances of other subsystems called the clients. and the clients are responsible for interacting with the user. So each client calls on the server, which performs some service requested by the client and return the result. But the client know the interface of the server, but the server don't know the interface of the client. So end user interact with only with the client subsystem. So an example of client server architecture style is the information system with a central database in which the clients are responsible for receiving input from the user, performing necessary checks, and initiating database transactions. And the server, uh, which can be many, is responsible for performing the transaction and guaranteeing the integrity of the data. So client server architecture style is, you can say, is a special case of repository architecture style. So client server architecture often used in the design of database systems, in which the user, there is a front end, and the user interacts with the client or the front end, and on the back end there are database, which is accessed and manipulated as a result of client request. So functions performed by client, input from the user, customized user interface, front end processing performing necessary checks on the input data. These are the functions provided at the client side. And the functions provided by the database server, which can be many, is centralized management of the data to maintain the integrity of the data, and integrity and consistency of the data, so that the data at multiple locations remains in consistent state, and to perform database security. So design goals of software for client server architecture is service portability. Server runs on many operating systems. There can be many servers and each run on different operating system and on different networking environment. So location transparency, server might itself be distributed, but it should provide a single logical service to the user. High performance, client optimized for interactive display intensive tasks, server optimized for CPU intensive operations. Scalability, server can handle large number of clients, as the clients in the client server architecture can be thousands. Flexible user interface of client supports a variety of devices, like it should be able to take input from multiple devices. And reliability, server should be able to survive client and communication problems. If any problem occurs at this side, the server should be able to survive and generate output. So on a world wide web, a single client can easily access data from thousands of different servers. So client server So the web as an instance of a client server architecture style. So this diagram shows the web, the World Wide Web, as a client server architecture style where a single user can access data from thousands of different servers at the same time. So client server architecture styles are well suited for distributed systems that manage large amount of data. So let's discuss some problem with client server architecture style. So client server systems do not provide peer to peer communication. And what is peer to peer communication? In which the subsystems can act both as client or as servers. So example, database must process queries which are requested from some application database user, and the queries update data, and after processing the query it should notify some other application as well when that the data is changed. So this type of service, the client server architecture is unable is the client server architecture don't have the capability to provide this type of service because it does not support peer to peer communication. So next is peer to peer architecture style. In it is basically a generalization of client server architecture style in which the subsystems can act both as client and as servers, in the sense that each subsystem can request and can provide services. So peer-to-peer architecture style, peers can request services from and provide services to other peers. So this behavior is often required, that clients can be servers and servers can be clients. So example of it is an example of peer-to-peer architecture style. The database server can both process requests, that it acts as a server from, and send notification to application. In here it is acting as client. So sometimes this behavior is required, which is supported by peer-to-peer architecture style. So next is three-tier architecture. So three-tier architecture style organizes subsystems into three layers. One is interface layer, which includes all boundary objects, for example windows, forms, web pages, etc. Application logic, that includes all control and entity objects. It includes all the processing, rule checking, making logical decisions, evaluations, calculations. All such things will be in application logic. And storage layer, that realizes the storage, retrieval and query of persistent objects. It deals with the database. So interface like form, application logic, connection, all processing, all decisions, evaluations will be all logic will be here, and storage, all database related tasks will be here. So three-tier architecture style represented by UML component diagram. So objects are organized into three layers. So the goal of three-tier architecture is basically to separate the user interface and the physical database. So it basically provides program data independence. So with the help of this, it supports multiple views of the data for same application logic, like one view for the student, other view for the admin. So it supports multiple views of the same underlying application logic. Next is the four-tier architecture style. So four-tier architecture style is a three-tier architecture in which the interface layer is further decomposed into presentation client layer and presentation server layer, as I will tell you in through next diagram. For example, a banking information system can include a host of different clients, such as web browser interface for home users or ATM machine, and an application client for bank employees. Now, forms shared by all three clients can then be defined and processed in the presentation server layer, thus removing redundancy across clients. So this is the example in which the presentation layer, the interface layer, is decomposed into presentation client layer and presentation server layer, and this serves as connection between the two. So the interface layer of the three-tier style is split into two layers to enable more variability on the user interface style. So by decomposing in this style, all parts of the application can now be changed or upgraded independently without affecting other one. So next is pipe and filter architecture style. So subsystem process data received from a set of inputs and send results to other subsystems via a set of outputs. So this means that the output from one filter will be the input to another filter. So the subsystems in a pipe filter architecture are called filters, and the connections or the associations between the subsystems are called pipes. So each filter knows only the content and format of data received on the input pipes. So each filter, this is the advantage of pipe and filter architecture style, that each filter can be executed at the same time, and synchronization is accomplished through the pipes, on the basis of which the filters or the subsystems are connected. So these are suitable for systems that apply transformation to streams of data without the intervention or interference of the user. So pipe and filter architecture is just like a series of components in which an output of one of first component acts as input of another component. So like as an example, the pipe and filter architecture of a noise cancellation system will be given, in which there is a filter of noise detection, noise verification, and noise cancellation. So, what are the advantages of this architecture? It ensures loose coupling of components, which are also called filters. So, what is the advantage of loose coupling? So, loose coupling allows filters to be changed without modification to other filters. And another advantage can be that it enables parallel processing. The filters can process some data in parallel. So another advantage can be reusability. So each filter can be called and used over and over again. So these are some advantages of this architecture style. So next is the summary of the lecture. Now you should have in mind the various architecture styles used in software and the distinction between them. That if I ask you the difference between repository and client server architecture, so what is the difference? Basically, repository architecture, in repository architecture, the centralized point has only the data. Fine, that in repository architecture, the repository has the data processing capability only, while in client server architecture, the server has some processing power as well. So most of the client server systems are internet based. So one of the best example of client server architecture is YouTube, in which there are various servers which contain the video files and related web pages, and all the client needs is a browser. So in this architecture, in client server architecture, it is easy to add new servers and integrate it with the system without affecting other parts of the system. So for example, what is the difference between 3-tier and MVC architecture? So basically 3-tier architecture is linear. So where the client tier never communicates with data tier directly. The client has to communicate with application logic. So all communication passes through the middle tier, while in MVC is more a triangular shape, where view sends updates to controller and receives updates from model, and controller updates the model. So 3-tier architecture is linear and MVC architecture is more triangular in shape. So the difference between client server architecture style and peer-to-peer architecture style is what? So basically peer-to-peer architecture style is a generalization of client server architecture style, where the subsystems can both act as client or as servers. So what is the difference between three-tier architecture and four-tier architecture? In four-tier architecture, the interface layer is further decomposed into presentation layer, presentation client layer, and presentation server layer. So these are some points on difference between architecture styles. So that is end for today's lecture. Thank you.